Good evening. My name is Eva. Now I am presentation about title Future Child Criminal Law Enforcement Through a Restorative Justice Approach. Introduction. The problem of law enforcement in several countries, especially in Indonesia, is central. Crime cases are increasing in number in Indonesia, and many factors influence this crime. A set of regulations is not sufficiently supported by firm law enforcement officially, but firm sanctification are also needed in it. Speaking of sanctification in the criminal justice system, law number 11 of 2012, it is stated that Article 17(1) of the main criminal category is divided into warning crime, criminal with conditional, quidditch, community service, supervision, job training, coaching with institution. The problem of crime imposed on children has been highlighted in Indonesia in this regard. The process of seeking a sense of justice is an inseparable. It starts at the time of making law and regulation, their implementation and application. The polemic of law enforcement will never stop as long as humans live, but the law enforcement process must also be an equally important part of the law enforcement process in Indonesia. According to Law Friedman, law as a system will play a good role in social in the instrument or equipment with authority. An authority in the field of law enforcement. The legal system is composed of legal substance in the form of legal substance, legal structure, legal culture. These three elements of the legal system will determine whether a legal system works or not. Legislation, which is part of the substance of the law itself, facility, infrastructure, and apparatus constituting the legal structure as well as the behavior or culture of members of the surrounding community, greatly determines the process of implementing law enforcement. Law and justice reform is not a simple matter, very broad and complex, not only related to statutory regulation, but covering the reform of the legal system as a whole, not only the legal system, but all elements of politics, the social system, including the economic system. The time and the flow of globalization have had a positive and negative influence on children behavior deviation. Deviation and law violation do not stand alone but are also influenced by several factors, one of which is the environmental factor of children committing legal action. Therefore, parents and the community are also responsible for fostering education and child development so that they are protected from illegal act. When a child commits an act of breaking the law, it's always referred to the when a child commits as an breaking in the law, it always refers to the existence of sanction state in the law of the juvenile justice system. The armed investigation, prosecution, judicial process carried out by law enforcement officials based on the provision of the law on the juvenile criminal justice system has many weaknesses, including the problem of detentions on crime community-based children is treated with more than 5 years or more under certain conditions. The punishment is punishable by no more than 24 months. The lack of opportunity to meet his parents if the threat extends 5 years at the opportunity to meet and communicate with legal counsel or parent as well as the detention period is a given by the investigator is too long. The concept of the modern rule of law that must protect children is still being raised. The government interferes with the people live at large to cover almost all aspects of life. In carrying out its function, the government used the principle of discretion. Result and discussion. The structural components above are legal support, legal form, and legal perform process. Legal institutions are an important element in legal development, namely the creation of quality institutions not only to understand the law but also apply law and justice. Effort to effort, the law and based on the rule of law through statutory regulation, mainly so in legislation active, namely by introducing and making law regarding material that do not yet have provision, and this law must be made following the wishes of the wider community. Empowering regulation exist but are rarely implemented. Repeal laws that are not longer in line with the aspiration of the community. The implementation regulations are inconsistent with higher regulation, or the regulation issued by one agency with other agencies are incompatible. Article 6 of the Diversion Governing Justice System Law aims to achieve peace between victim and child, completing cases of children outside the court, encourage the community to participate, avoid children from feeling deprived of liberty, instill a sincere responsibility to children. Law enforcement carried out by public prosecutor, investigator, and judge in Article 9 of the diversion process of the Japanese criminal system. Law must consider category of crime, act of the child, result of community research, support family and community employment. The provisions above are equivalents that can be taken into account by law enforcement in terms of implementing diversion in dealing with children in conflict with the law. That the lower the punishment, the higher the priority for diversion. Children who commit serious criminal acts, such as the crime of murder and the threat of being over years old, are not allowed. The act of the child in the provision is intended to determine the priority for the implementation of diversion. The younger the act of the child, the younger the priority of diversion implementation. Provision regarding the consent of the child family, the victim means the victim is a minor. Conclusion. Children are not to be punished. That is a appropriate word to address law enforcement in Indonesia. Law enforcement consists of three components such as legal structure, legal substansi, and legal culture, constituting an integral process that cannot be separated from one another. A legal system will later on or not be sent from the legislative Islam, namely Law Number 11 of 2012 will the law enforcement apparatus consisting of the police, prosecutor, judiciary, and correction institution, an important element in law enforcement, supported by personnel who quality to support the law enforcement process effectively. Given many complaints from the public regarding action that violate norms, a restorative justice approach is an approach that puts forward alternative solutions in an effort so that the process of children facing the law can run well. This approach focuses on justice and the balance of the occurrence of criminal act committed by children. There is a process marked by involving both parties, both of the victim and the perpetrator, sitting together to settle disputes due to criminal act committed by providing compensation and amicable solution through the mediator and agreed by both parties, without a crime process that will lead to stigmatization of children in the future. Okay, thank you.